The world's greatest mystery, Flight 571. Imagine being trapped on a frozen mountain with no food. Now imagine the only way to survive is eating your dead friends. This actually happened to 45 people in 1972. Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571 took off on October 12, 1972. Most passengers were young rugby players with their friends and families. They headed from Montevideo to Santiago, Chile. The flight path crossed the Andes Mountains. It's the longest and one of the deadliest mountain ranges in the world. Bad storms forced their plane to land in Mendoza, Argentina. They spent the night there waiting for conditions to improve. The next afternoon, October 13th, they took off again. Less than an hour later, everything went wrong. The plane hit severe turbulence and disappeared into thick clouds. Through the mist, the pilots suddenly saw a mountain directly ahead. They pulled back hard on the controls to climb, but it was too late. The tail struck a rock face and tore completely off. Moments later, a wing sheared away against another peak. The front section of the plane crashed onto a glacier. It was 12,000 feet above sea level. The wreckage slid half a mile down the slope before stopping. 12 people died on impact, including both pilots. Miraculously, 33 people survived the initial crash, but their ordeal was just beginning. That first night, temperatures dropped to minus 22 degrees Fahrenheit. 5 more people died from injuries and exposure. The survivors worked together to build a shelter. They used airplane seats and luggage to block the wind. They melted snow for drinking water. Their food supply was tiny scraps from the plane. Everyone knew it wouldn't last long. By day 11, someone found a small transistor radio. The news was devastating. Rescue efforts had been called off. Search planes couldn't spot the white wreckage against snow. By day 16, all food was gone. The survivors faced an unthinkable decision. They would have to eat the bodies of their dead friends. Many were close friends or even family members. On October 29th, disaster struck again. A massive avalanche buried their makeshift shelter. 8 more people died under tons of snow, but the remaining survivors refused to give up. On December 12th, 2 men hiked out for help. Fernando Parado and Roberto Canessa had no mountaineering experience. For 10 days, they climbed glaciers and steep ridges. The thin air made every step exhausting. Finally, they reached farmers in a valley below. Parado scribbled a note.
"I come from a plane that fell."
On December 22nd, helicopters arrived at the crash site. Exactly 70 days after the crash, 16 people were rescued. Their ordeal became known as the Miracle in the Andes.